everyone, this is Essen Porter. I'm gonna talk about my underestimated games. Games which I didn't find interesting at first, but then when I dove into them, I found them really interesting. So my first pick is Dragon Age Origins, an RPG released in 2009 by BioWare. It's set in the fictional world of Thedas, where you are recruited as one of the Grey Wardens, defenders for when creatures called Darkspawn and a dragon tainted by Darkspawn called the Archdemon come to the surface every few hundred years to attack in an event called the Blight. So I first came across this game from cards of the now inactive online trading card game called One Up. I was actually appalled at the 3D character designs. I didn't like them, so I kept trading my Dragon Age cards. But later on, I became a deck maker in the TCG that I had to make Dragon Age decks from photos submitted by TCG players. They piqued my interest, and so I downloaded it off the internet. Again, we do not condone piracy. I enjoyed the game a lot, so I ended up buying an original physical copy of the game, which is the Ultimate Edition, which has all the DLCs. I fell in love with the game, and that I liked its gripping story. The gameplay is amazing. There is some strategy element to it, even though it's live combat. You can actually pause it. You can set what the characters in your team will do so that the others attack enemies, help each other, or stay behind while you control one character. You can zoom in and out, and the PC version has a top-down view. And having played Dragon Age and its other games, it led me to buy Baldur's Gate later on, which of course is also another BioWare game. I enjoyed the funny dialogue in Dragon Age, the choices, the banter. In this game, you also get to choose the character race, which then gives you a unique origin story for each race. And it's all different before one huge pivotal moment in the story where the story of the character as a Grey Warden begins, which is the same for everyone. The voice acting in this game is excellent. Well, there is the Tim Curry. Come on, Tim Curry's in here. And then there's, I love Alistair, played by Steve Valentine. I think everybody loves Alistair. And then there's Sharon Logain, which is voiced by the Simon Templeman. If you don't know him, he played Kane from The Legacy of Kane. And not to brag, but I have an autograph of Simon. Please pass the picture, Sergio. There's so much to do in this game that when you finish the main game, I did it in maybe 80 hours. You'll want to replay it as a different race or class because of the different skill set, weapons, stats. Rogues have higher dexterity early on, so you could open the door and chests and locks. And even after that, there are the DLCs which you could play. So there is excellent replayability. One thing I don't like about this is the fade levels. I don't like the fact that there is a known bug where you get stuck with the boss, and if you do not have a previous save from before the fade levels, you're gonna have to replay it from the start, just like I did. The fade levels themselves, I'm okay with that, but other players hate it. So, I love Dragon Age Origins that I then played Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition. And just to put it out there, Stan said, the cake is a lie. If you know, you know. My second game is Ys 1 and 2 Chronicles, which was originally released in 1989 and 1990 for the PC Engine and TurboGrafx respectively. Here you play as the main character Adult Christine, who must seek out the 6 books of Ys that contains the history of the ancient vanished land of Ys. Those will give him the knowledge that he needs to defeat the evil forces currently sweeping the land of Hysteria. So Ys is the name of the land that is floating above Hysteria's surface for 700 years, which you can see in the game. I came across this game in 2018 during a Steam sale. I wasn't actually sure whether I'd buy it. I was just looking for any games on sale. So I read reviews and wasn't really sure about that bump system. But then I gave it a chance and actually found that bump battle system really satisfying, especially when you're strong enough to attack enemies without losing health. I really enjoyed the story and the lovely anime art. The game is quite short that you can finish it in under 3 hours. And there is actually some replayability with it, even though it's just short. You can play different difficulties for achievements. This game also got me interested in other Ys games that I played. Origins next, which I love the action RPG combat there. and it's an excellent prequel with nods to Ys 1 and 2. I also bought other Ys games that are currently in my gaming backlog now. Also, there was an anime made about Ys 1 and 2 back then. I've seen a few of the first episodes and I love how they captured the story, the game, even though the anime is not really long. At this point, I'm thinking maybe I should play the PC Engine or TurboGrafx version because as a gamer, I think I should play the original. The Ys 1 and 2 Chronicles are modern versions. One thing I liked, or just a tidbit, in the intro, the nurse stops Bluto and Snap from interviewing Adol, who just woke up from being rescued because he showed up on shore after like his boat sank. And then, because the nurse was kind of telling them off, Slav said, "Uh oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up." If you know that, yeah, you're old. If you get the reference. Well, I love Hall Notes. So my recommendation is play 1 and 2 first, then Origins, so you won't be shocked with the gameplay change. Origins has a similar combat style to the other sequels. For my honorable mention, I choose Mafia 1. I love GTA, so I was looking for similar games that are third person, and this popped up on my Steam recommendations. So Mafia 1, not the definitive edition, the original one, was released in 2002 on Windows. It isn't as open world as GTA. I enjoyed its story, it's cinematic and feels like a gangster movie. There are also cool classic cars, and they're enjoyable to drive, except that driving level at the start where you need to drive a really slow car. But it's kind of a miss that it isn't on the definitive edition. It's part of the Mafia 1 experience. There are also nice music from the 30s and 40s that you can play while driving on the radio. But what I don't like about this game is mainly getting ticketed when you speed, especially when you're in a chase. So this led me to also play Mafia 2, which I also loved the story. The graphics was a huge upgrade. And sorry to fangirl, but Vito Scalera is handsome. And Mafia 3, I tried the demo, but I'm not fond of the true crime documentary style storytelling, and it doesn't feel the same as its predecessors. So that's all for my underestimated games. I hope you have enjoyed those games or will be trying them. And let's hear the other panels. Thank you, everybody.